Brought to you by Penguin Random House Canada.
Our Last Wild Days by Anna Bailey. Read by Kate Handford. A road. Some trees. A girl bursts out of the woods. She staggers onto the road, trying to regain her balance, kicking up yellow dust with the dirty heels of her sneakers. But she doesn't wait, not even to push the sweaty hair from her face. She is tall for her age, which makes her look older than she is, barely 13. And at this very moment, her body seems like something totally beyond her control, barreling down the road, her knees throbbing with every step. But she does not stop. She doesn't dare. The evening air has a thickness to it, as though someone has left an oven open nearby. Either side of the road, Spanish moss stirs in the boughs of the knock-kneed cypresses, and shadows are gathering between an old duck hunter's cabin and the timbers of an upturned fishing boat, which slouches in the weeds like the bones of some long-dead animal. Overhead, the moon claws its way out from the tangle of branches, and the girl looks over her shoulder, panting so hard that colors come out of nowhere at the corners of her eyes. There's grit in her mouth, making her throat itch so bad it tastes like it's bleeding. But the road behind her is empty. Still, she keeps on running. There is nothing coming out of the woods. 1. Assumption Parish is largely backcountry, cross-hatched with ragged forest and waterways, and split down the center by Lake Verret, which drains into that great artery, the Atchafalaya River, and eventually out into the Gulf of Mexico. Most of Assumption's population centers lie east of the lake, a scattering of small towns bordered by farmland, but on the western shore, a few settlements hang on between the trees and the swamp. In Jacknife, a billboard advertises the sale of metal detectors, ammo, and snow cones with a K. Outside the dry cleaners, dark bursts around the external pipes make it seem as though rust has seeped into the paint. A faded wooden horse, like something from a carousel, casts a leaping shadow over the sidewalk, which itself narrows quickly into weeds and verges littered with junk food wrappers. Jacknife is not a town where people walk from one place to another. The heat would knock them out before they got where they meant to go. On the corner of Main Street, the diner is gradually slipping into the wetlands behind it. The smell that lingers in the air is a mix of chemicals from the plastics plant along the waterway and the bitter black coffee that the factory workers and fishermen flock to consume first thing before their shifts. Strip lights hum from 5 in the morning to 10 at night, reflecting off the colorless linoleum and Formica tabletops, the whole place sweating in the heat of southern Louisiana. A sign outside, scrawled and re-scrawled over the years in marker pen, boasts homegrown gator steak, so good your tongue'll beat your brains out. When she was a girl, Cutter Labasque used to watch her brothers try to piss on that sign. Only DeWall ever hit it, being the tallest. And even knowing that Cutter and their little brother Beau would never manage, he'd still insist on dragging them round to the diner on nights when their parents were blackout drunk, because it was all DeWall really had. This proof that he could do something others could not. The three of them grew up split-lipped and bloody-knuckled, hunting alligators and collecting gator eggs for their parents' farm, which was, in the end, the only thing that Vin Labasque and Gina Stokes had to leave their offspring when their car came off the interstate at 100 miles an hour. That, a whole heap of unpaid bills, and a reptilian viciousness between the 3 Labasque siblings, which both parents had cultivated. Cutter is a crowbar of a woman, 28, with dirty boots and dark hair that she buzzed down to the skin on one side, one night in the bathroom of a bar. Anyone who gets close enough might be able to smell the traces of the joint she's just smoked in the car. weed that tasted like the bayou she'd nearly drowned in as a child. But nobody will get close enough. Men and women have kept their distance since the night of her 16th birthday, when the sheriff's son had tried to put his hand down her tank top and Cutter had bitten his finger. "What did it taste like?" Little Beau had asked curiously, while DeWall yelled at the cops. Cutter had shrugged, picking her teeth. "Like some other girl's pussy." She swings by the diner most mornings, ostensibly to drop off a few pounds of alligator meat, but mostly Cutter just appreciates the quiet. Or no, that's the wrong word, since it's never truly quiet at the diner. The place is always alive with the clink of cups and cutlery, the scrape of stools at the counter, the whir of the ceiling fans, the furtive chatter as gossip is exchanged, the hacking coughs of the factory workers. Yet all this contributes to a kind of white noise in Cutter's head, which provides an escape from the farm, from the debts, from her brothers, that is sorely needed. Especially this morning. Especially knowing what she has to do. Grateful for the distraction, she lets her ear tune in to the voice of young Kaylee Patipa, who is wiping down the counter where her brother, Sasha, and her boyfriend, Tyrone, are swigging the last of their coffee. "You hear Loyal's back in town?" Kaylee's saying. "Nina saw her at the gas station. Said she's got some fancy car now. Said she was wearing a suit like she was headed to a funeral or something." "Loyal? Wasn't she the one used to steal road signs?" Tyrone is barely 21, with a scraping edge to his voice on account of the throat cancer. Cutter knows he's still hoping to get recompensed by the plastics plant, but proceedings are slow and costly, and he jokes that everyone around here is so broke, even the plant has to save up money to pay him. "Nah, you're thinking of the Morgan brothers," Sasha Patipa says. "Loyal May, she was a senior when we were freshmen. Kinda cute, like a sad professor." "Like a what?" Kaylee snorts. "Like, she looked smart, but deep, you know? You wouldn't get it since you're neither." Tyrone grins. "Wait, are you talking about the fat chick whose hand got bitten in half by a gator? You thought she was cute?" "I said kind of. Until that hand thing, anyway. That was gross." Kaylee rolls her eyes. "Boy, you didn't even see it." She is Sasha's twin, right down to the way they shut one eye when they grin, like they're aiming at a target. Kaylee has a wild mane of hair, turned brittle from too much bleach, while Sasha's is a washed-out pink with greasy roots, revealing a smudged attempt at a stick-and-poke tattoo behind his left ear. Both have a penchant for standing on the railroad at night when the freighters are thundering down the tracks, hoping somebody will jump out and save them. Now Sasha spares a quick glance around the diner and leans in closer. There is a dark kind of glee in his voice. "You know what Loyal's really doing here, don't you?" He delights in the fact that they do not, as someone does when they have so little they must savor every scrap of gossip like it's a crumpled dollar bill. "Loyal's back in Jacknife because her mom's gone nutso." "Her mom was always nutso," Kaylee says. "Why'd you think her daddy left?" "Not like this. Apparently the neighbors found Rosa May in the yard, digging in the dirt with her bare hands. Called the cops and everything. So Loyal had to pack it in at her big paper in Houston, move back home to Nowhereville." Kaylee frowns at her brother. "How'd you know all that?" "Because Loyal's working for my paper now, helping me and Uncle Chuck get it online." "Please, baby. A bunch of horoscopes and catfish steak reviews hardly counts as a newspaper." Sasha sticks his tongue out, and they proceed to make faces at one another. Conversation meanders.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?